I think it's particularly great pleasure to introduce
Yeah.
Maayke de Ridder. I've known Maayke quite a few years now. I think it was Juliet Roberts, the former editor of Gardens Illustrated, who introduced us. And I remember her explaining to me once how Maayke and her camera had a particular way of moving through a garden so that the picture set really gave you a sense of being there.
I've always worked for magazines, so I know what magazines want.
Dutch gardens are very, very distinctive.
Usually they are very interested in small gardens and not especially in Holland and in Belgium. And so they want to see what the garden's about, but they also want to know what's behind the garden, what's the story behind the garden.
A lot of the Dutch landscape is extraordinarily geometrical.
It's always about lines in the landscape. And as we are a very flat country, it emphasizes it.
There is something about the clean lines, about the incredibly relaxed planting. It's just so subtle, but it complements the lines very beautifully.
Gradually, I educated myself in knowledge of plants.
Something I think which is very distinctive about Dutch gardens is the materials and the dimensions of the materials, and simply the brick dimensions in Holland.
These are 3 owners, and they joined their gardens because all the Amsterdam city gardens are very small and long and very shadowy.
That is so unusual. I cannot imagine 3 neighbours in England.
You know about Mienreis? I went to Mienreis, I think about 20 years ago, and for a long time I didn't go. And I think last summer I went. The last time I went, it was like, I was as happy as I was 20 years ago when I went to enter the first time. I was still like, she was way ahead of her time.
You as a photographer and I suppose looking at a garden that photographs well, does that necessarily translate that it's a good design?
Like I said, I think it's like a garden can be a top model. It doesn't look very, very glamorous, but for the picture I can see through it, and I know that it will photograph well, very, very well. Here you can see the same thing. It's subtleness in planting. It's very good woodwork. It's an extremely nice detailing.
Where is Dutch garden design going, in your opinion? What are you seeing things changing? Are you seeing a movement towards a different direction, or more emphasis
more
on
naturalistic planting? Absolutely, and also more woodland planting, more edible gardening.
Fabulous photography. What camera do you use?
I'm using a Nikon D800,
right.
800